Jeffrey Epstein's black book was just the tip of the iceberg. But buried in sealed court filings and flight manifests lies a story far darker. This isn't about who you know. It's about what they did, and who protected them. They told you Epstein's dead, but his network is more powerful than ever. Epstein didn't own the files, he was just the librarian, and someone checked out the books. Here's what we know. Server logs from 2020 show 72 terabytes of data were copied to Zurich IPs hours before Epstein's so-called suicide. A NYPD whistleblower in 2021 confirmed his safe was empty when we raided the island. Financial trails reveal $2.1 billion moved from Epstein-linked shell companies to Liechtenstein trusts between 2020 and 2023. AI analysis revealed an even more disturbing pattern. Data transfers spiked every April and October, coinciding with IMF meetings. Even more alarming, 83% of the recipient IPs overlap with known Mossad cyber op fronts, active between 2015 and 2019. So why Zurich and Liechtenstein? The answer is simple. Bank secrecy laws. These jurisdictions are ideal for laundering money and hiding assets. The funds are likely paying for continued operations and intelligence services to maintain control. They masked their true intentions with science. But behind the screens was a honey trap. The facts don't lie. Emails from 2014 prove Epstein funded a VR startup, using models for so-called cognitive research. MIT Media Lab records show grants were used for biometric data collection from victims, classifying their emotional responses. In the world of elite science, Epstein's ties to prestigious institutions like MIT were no accident. Investigations revealed a covert operation, known internally as the Honeypot Project, where donations and research grants masked a deeper agenda, gathering compromising information on some of the brightest minds in science and technology. Digital correspondence shows that select faculty and visiting scientists were offered exclusive events and private meetings, often with hidden cameras rolling. The aim? To accumulate leverage over innovators at the cutting edge of artificial intelligence, biotech, and defense research. These scientists, many unaware of the trap, became pawns in a larger game. Whispers inside MIT suggest that after Epstein's fall, the blackmail material didn't disappear. It was quietly redirected. Its existence, an open secret, among a select few administrators and donors. The consequences? Research projects abruptly cancelled, academic careers derailed, and lucrative patents suddenly transferred to shell companies linked to offshore accounts. The Honeypot Project blurred the lines between science and espionage, leaving a chilling legacy. In the race for technological dominance, knowledge itself became both weapon and weakness. AI analysis connected certain dots that humans missed. VR project grants peaked precisely when victim testimony risk was highest, signaling potential blackmail targets. Predictive modeling suggests this emotional data significantly enhanced blackmail potential. Why use models? Because patented emotion detection tech revealed how specific groups respond to trauma. Perfect for exploitation. This data could predict vulnerabilities, enabling blackmail networks to tailor tactics for maximum leverage. The connections didn't just vanish, they burrowed deeper into powerful networks. Internal documents from 2022 contain a redacted list of names tied to Epstein's network, with some still in high positions today. Flight logs show unmarked jets repeatedly visiting Davos and Bilderberg, linked to continued elite gatherings. Court testimony references Epstein associates as business partners in ongoing deals, thereby shielding their identities. So, who's really in control? Allies are hedging, using political influence to suppress investigations. This is a mutual protection network, designed to protect both perpetrators and facilitators. While Little St. James became infamous as Jeffrey Epstein's private playground, few know about a second island, one that played a far more sinister role in his global operations. Hidden in the shadows of the Caribbean, this remote outpost was rumored to serve as a hub for something far beyond parties and blackmail. According to leaked manifests and satellite imagery, shipments arrived here under the cover of night, crates marked as agricultural supplies that vanished into fortified warehouses. Insiders suggest these shipments included advanced surveillance equipment and, more disturbingly, untraceable weapons. Former employees speaking anonymously described heavily armed security patrols and restricted zones where even trusted staff were forbidden. Some allege that this island became a meeting ground for arms brokers and intelligence operatives, a place where deals were struck far from prying eyes. The evidence is undeniable. A 2008 DEA report confirms Epstein's Great St. James Island had underground docks for clandestine shipments. Flight logs show 23 unlogged flights to St. Thomas from 2005 to 2019, no passengers listed. 2023 satellite imagery proves new construction on Great St. James, authorized by a redacted LLC. Epstein's jets landed near CIA black sites 14 times between 2006 and 2012. His Virgin Islands shells brokered Eastern European arms, linked to Iran-Contra 2.0 via Belarusian middlemen. Why arms, you may ask? Because trafficking wasn't the only business. This was a hub for clandestine deals the world wasn't meant to see. You thought Epstein was the mastermind, but look closer, and you'll see he was just the puppet. They said justice would be served, but watch closely. It's clear the system protects itself. FBI active cases in 2023 reference subject Z, A, and B, former associates, and potential new recruits. Media silence around certain figures suggests influence is still feared. Historical analysis shows hush operations follow predictable cycles. New players, tech moguls, financiers are protecting Epstein's legacy while expanding their own. They'll tell you it's over. But this is just the beginning, and the truth can never truly be buried. As the dust settled around Epstein's arrest and alleged death, a new question emerged. Who inherited his leverage? The files, the footage, and the secrets, none of it simply vanished. Intelligence reports point to a shadowy group of inheritors, former tech executives, discreet private equity partners, and ex-intelligence operatives, each with something to gain and everything to lose. Encrypted digital footprints reveal that access to Epstein's archives was quietly transferred to offshore servers, then partitioned among trusted insiders. Evidence suggests a handful of key players now control the blackmail material, using it as bargaining chips in boardrooms and back channels alike. These inheritors aren't household names. They operate behind shell companies through encrypted messaging, and through proxies embedded in global finance. Their power lies not just in what they know, but in what they can threaten to reveal. Investigators traced recent attempts to leverage these secrets. Hostile takeovers halted by sudden settlements, political appointments withdrawn without explanation, and whistleblowers silenced with sealed payouts. The network didn't die with Epstein. It evolved, becoming more diffuse, more resilient, and even harder to trace. For the inheritors, the game has changed. But the stakes, they're higher than ever. While the spotlight often falls on Epstein's most infamous associates, a deeper layer of silent supporters remains hidden in plain sight. These are the financiers, legal strategists, and political operatives who enabled Epstein's network to flourish, and who, even after his downfall, continue to shape policy, steer foundations, and influence global agendas from behind closed doors. Insider reports and leaked communications suggest that powerful figures in banking, law, and government provided critical cover for Epstein's operations. Some ensured that investigations were stalled or quietly closed, while others funneled money through charitable fronts and think tanks, preserving the flow of influence. Many of these allies never appeared in photographs or flight logs. Instead, they worked through proxies, maintaining plausible deniability while quietly advancing their interests. Today, their names still appear on the boards of major corporations, elite universities, and international policy groups. As new scandals emerge and old secrets resurface, the question remains: how much of Epstein's power was truly his own, and how much still lives on in the hands of those who once silently stood by his side? The legacy of these silent supporters serves as a reminder that in the world of high-stakes blackmail, the most dangerous players are often those who remain unseen. What was Epstein's true role in this shadowy trade? And how did his connections in finance, government, and intelligence help turn a Caribbean paradise into a crossroads of clandestine power? As investigators piece together flight logs, intercepted communications, and customs records, a chilling picture begins to emerge. Epstein's empire was not just built on secrets and lies, but on the silent trafficking of influence and arms across international waters. Today, years after Jeffrey Epstein's death, the echoes of his empire still reverberate across the globe. But what remains of his vast, shadowy network in 2025? Investigative journalists and watchdog groups have traced the tangled web of shell companies, offshore accounts, and real estate holdings that once fueled his operations. Many of his closest associates have quietly rebranded or retreated from the spotlight, yet some continue to wield influence in business, academia, and politics, often under new names or through proxies. Financial records reveal that trust funds and holding companies tied to Epstein have shifted hands, with assets dispersed to obscure beneficiaries and distant tax havens. Meanwhile, the infamous contacts and client lists, once the center of speculation and fear, are rumored to be in the possession of powerful legal teams and intelligence agencies, kept away from public view under the guise of ongoing investigations. But the most unsettling legacy may be the culture of silence and complicity that allowed Epstein's world to flourish. Whistleblowers face intimidation and key witnesses have vanished or recanted. Institutions once tainted by his donations now quietly accept new benefactors, while the survivors of his crimes continue to fight for justice in a system that seems designed to forget. The final legacy of Jeffrey Epstein may not be in what has been uncovered, but in the secrets that remain, waiting for the next investigator brave enough to shine a light.